Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, let's talk about Sunny and Nina's confrontation. Here's the thing about what Nina did. Was it bad? Yes. Was it like the worst thing that, you know, a woman has ever done to Sunny? No. No, it really was not. You look at the final product of everything that wound up happening with Drew and Carly. What Nina said was true. They did commit a crime, right? It's not like she fabricated that stuff and he went to jail for something that they didn't do, right? So, also in all reality, when you really stop and think about it, Carly and Drew did not really get the punishment that one would get. And yes, I understand no one in that town, really gets the punishment for the crimes and stuff like that. No one in town practically pays for the crimes. But let's look at this as a whole. Drew originally was given a deal of 3 months for something that you should have got far more jail time. Even the 3 years, I've seen people go to jail for longer. And he even go to jail for 3 years. He didn't even go to jail for 3 years. And what happened to Carly? She lost money. That does suck. But is she in a poorhouse? No. She actually has a business that's thriving. Now, Drew did wind up getting beaten in jail and stuff like that, and that does suck. But that's what happens when you go to jail. Now, it's unfortunate that it happened, but you did commit a crime, you did go to jail, and unfortunately, sometimes things like that do happen. So when you really start to think about it, what Nina did, was it really like the most god awful, unforgivable thing that could have been done? I mean, hell, Sonny still loves Nina, and Nina did sit there, because Sonny was like, "Oh, you should go to Carly. You should apologize to her." Why? Because you said so. It's part of Sonny and his godlike complex. I love Sonny as a character, but like, you want her to sit there and write an apology letter too? And of course, Nina called it out because Nina was like, "Listen, the reason why you want me to go to Carly because Carly's going to sit there and tear into me, and you can't bring yourself to do that." Sonny's conflicted. Yeah, he's mad. He's upset because that is the mother of his children. But at the end of the day, the end result is that she's still fine. You know, no, she didn't go to jail. She lost some money. Okay, cool. I mean, let's be honest. It's not like all the money that she made, she practically earned. I mean, some of it she did, but like, um, now Willow was upset with her, right? And I get that she's upset that what Nina did to Carly because Carly is like family, right? But part of me is that they're thinking that she probably overreacted a little bit too much. I mean, she acted like Carly was her mom, like her actual mom, and was like, "Oh, don't sit there and touch me." And yes, I'm gonna sit there and go back and bring in Harmony. Harmony pretty much got you into a cult and gave you the shower to do God knows what. But at the end of the day, you're still sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, Harmony was like my, Harmony was pretty much my mom." Really? The woman that practically had you in a goddamn cult? But Nina, who did something out of spite, but it's not like Carly didn't commit the crime, and you're all like, "Oh, don't sit there and touch me." I'm sorry, but I kind of have some issues with that. The lying part, yes, I get that, and I get her being upset. That part I can get. and lying to for months, getting close, building that trust, and all the while you're sitting there lying to that person. Yeah, I get that, but I don't know. I'm very split on that. Now she's upset with Michael, and she has every right to be upset with Michael, right? Because Michael was meant to talk about, oh, um, I want to sit there and protect you, and I want to make sure you didn't get hurt. And the only thing that you're sitting there doing is underestimating her strength. It's kind, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of insulting to sit there and to have the person who committed a life to you sees you as this fragile being that's just is made out of glass. So I get where she's coming. I get where she's coming from, and I think that towards the end she figured out those are the reasons why um, Nina kept canceling. And you're being controlling. I mean, that's just messed up in itself. Now, Michael do bring up the fact that, I try to protect you like you try to protect me. You hit the whole cancer thing away from me. And on some level, he does have a point. Yes, her health and blah blah blah. Trust me, I already can like see the comments coming a mile away. But the point is, you share a life together, and what affects you affects her, vice versa. And so, yeah, she should have told him the truth. She should have told him the truth. And she didn't do it because she wanted to sit there and protect him. So let's not sit there and try to act like him protecting you wasn't out of an emotional reaction the same way you did it to him. You try to do to him. The controlling part, that's where I draw the line at that point. Now I think there's going to be some distance, some friction, but like Nina said, their story isn't over. And of course, like I said before, Maurice Bernard loves working with Cindy Watro, so I don't see that really going anywhere anytime soon. Um, and no, he's not going to be going back to Carly. Here's the thing: worst case scenario, even if they don't wind up being together, I'm going to sit there and tell you right now, he ain't going back to Carly. That's just that ship has sailed a long time ago, and for anyone that's still sitting there hoping, well, yeah, I can keep hoping because most likely that's not going to happen. I won't sit there and say that's definitely not happen, but as of right now, I do not see that happening in the near time future. I really don't. So let's just put that to rest. Um, Nicholas shows back up, played by Adam Huss, and part of me almost felt like, in some ways, I felt like it was kind of out of pocket because it was just like, well, why now? I mean, he did explain, like, Austin isn't alive and, people aren't watching you and stuff like that. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure you could have talked to her at any point in time. It just almost seems kind of out the blue. But he does come there, he does apologize. He's mad that, hey, you did sit there and try to kill me. But, you know, I do apologize for practically threatening to take away your daughter. We both messed up. And a lot of that has to do with Esme. I mean, yeah, that's still on us, but a lot of that has to do with Esme. He does say towards the end, he was like, how about we sit there and find a way to exact revenge on her? I'm wondering if Ava's going to sit there and do that. Maybe if this was years ago, years early Ava, she might have jumped at that. Now, Ava's a lot more mellow. So I don't know. I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Be interesting. Now, unfortunately, the rest of the episode is where it's. I don't want to sit there and say it goes downhill, but like the stuff with Bobby and mentioning her, it almost feels like it's a separate part. Like this clearly was not in the plans. I know they try to work it in there, but it clearly was not in the plans, and it almost kind of felt like it was its own separate episode because it starts off with Tracy. I mean, it starts off with Lucy and Scotty plotting and everything like that, and Lucy trying to tell him how to go about trying to scheme. Um, Tracy and Marty Smith are talking about, hey, listen, I gotta be cool with her exes because she was cool. She knows about my history and everything like that with the worst of the worst exes or whatever. Which is still something I'm still trying to figure out, Blair and Marty, but whatever. So that's going on. You got Brooklyn that's pretty much kind of hassling Tracy about Scott flirting with her, and Chase coming in and be like, yep, he's definitely flirting with you. And then it goes into a message of Brooklyn Smith saying you never know how much time you have. So you might as well make the best out of it. And I think that was almost supposed to be a way of maybe nudging Tracy into be like, maybe I'll give it a chance. But I felt like it was more of a Bobby thing because of what happened, suddenly. But Tracy does sit there and see a picture because Laura was meant to talk about her social media presence. So she did a selfie with Trace. She did a selfie with Marty and Kevin. And in the picture, you see Lucy and Scotty just kind of sitting down or whatever talking. Right then and there, Tracy was like, okay. Just makes me wonder if she didn't see that picture, would she would have been tripped, you know? Anyway, you got that going on. And, Carly is heartbroken. She is a wreck. And Drew is just there to sit there and try to be her rock. Carly starts going through some of the stages of grief, blaming herself for everything that she did to her, to not spending enough time with her on the phone and stuff like that. Um, and I think at some point I think either her or Drew want to call in Laura. So Laura pretty much told the rest of the gang or whatever about Bobby. You saw some flashbacks of Lucy and Bobby and Scotty and Bobby and everything like that. So, that was nice. I think probably tomorrow we're going to sit there and see. I'm assuming tomorrow we're going to see Lucas. Spoilers, we're going to sit there and see Lucas. It was over the internet at this point, so. Um, what else? So, towards the end of the episode, Sonny's at a church. I don't know why he decided to go to a church, but whatever. And Nina shows up to Carly and Drew's to, apologize and everything. Granted, we were talking about this in the live stream yesterday. I feel like things would have played out a little bit different if, you know, Jackie didn't pass away. Like, the scene is going to play out a lot different than it intended to. Very curious how they're going to do it, but I think the majority consensus in the chat was that it's not going to be as impactful. Maybe. I don't even know if she's actually going to even get to even saying it. I feel like she's going to try to sit there and say, I apologize for turning you over, and she's going to get interrupted, and then she's not going to say anything. And then, the people that know about it is going to find out about Bobby, and they're going to sit there and keep it a secret. And just handle the Bobby situation first, and then eventually down the line, get to Carly finding out the truth. I feel like that's the way it's going to play out. So it's definitely going to be a lot different. The impact is probably going to come a little bit later on when it does come out. Here's the thing, Nina. When somebody's like, why'd you do it? Nina was like, well, listen, she kept a secret from me. She kept the fact my daughter was dying and didn't sit there and say anything to towards the end. And I feel like, here's the thing, as far as a motive for doing that, I feel like that's a justifiable motive. I don't Carly can sit there and come up with all the reasons in the world why she didn't say anything. I could, and I already know Willow said, "Oh, I didn't want to know," and blah 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 blah, and yada yada yada. But the point is, because she kept that secret, it delayed treatment, and they couldn't find a donor. By the time they found a donor, she was nearly towards death. And if Carly would have said something, it wouldn't have got to that brink of death. That's the bottom line. So I understand why Nina did what she did, and she did. She did regret it. You know, was it wrong? Yes, but like she said, I mean, here's the thing. I hate when people sit there and say it's a mistake. It was a bad decision because it was a mistake. You weren't drunk dialing the FCC and called to rat her out. You made a choice. But she is human and it is what it is. I just, I wish, see, here's the thing. I feel like if this was like back in the 90s, I feel like she would have owned it. I felt like she would have owned it. She'd be like, yeah, I did it, and what? Now, I don't know why she had to sit there and be like, oh, I'm sorry, let me sit there and take it back. No, you don't like her. Have that energy. Just makes me wonder sometimes, like, why they are going around this. Oh, you gotta sit there and apologize to Carly. Are you kidding me? You want her to get on her hands and knees? Like, I mean, let's not get me wrong. I love Carly. I do. But I don't know. There's something, I don't know if it's favoritism or whatever, but I feel like if the show was a little bit more balanced, she wouldn't have to be so, oh, I gotta sit and apologize to her multiple times. Like, no, F her. You have legitimate reasons why you don't like her. Own it. But instead she gotta sit there and feel guilty for it. Why? Because she's Carly? Nah, I'm not feeling that. I'm really not feeling that. I don't know. I feel like maybe there's a sense of favoritism with that, which would explain why sometimes Carly is in scenes and certain things where it's like you don't really need to be here. Like again, with the whole um, Alexis thing and her being the one that saved Alexis and everything. It's like you didn't need to be there. They could have chose somebody else. They could have chose one of their own daughters to sit there and be there. But instead, you get Carly out the blue. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't really think of anything else. So, if I forgot anything, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born the Beautiful, and Young and Restless. And with that being said, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next video.